is Ms.Carmina, my channel. Everybody's welcome from anywhere in the world, from anywhere in the country. We're going to try to do this fast. Let's see if I have enough time. Today we are reading Gateway to the Epicureans. Continuing this one. This is part 3. This is called Thomas Jefferson, Letter to William Short, October 31st, 1819. Dear Sir, your favor of the 21st is received. My late illness, in which you are so kind as to feel an interest, was produced by a spasmodic stricture of ileum, which came upon me on the 7th inst. The crisis was short, passed over favorably on the 4th day, and I should soon have been well, but a dose of calomel and jalap, in which were only 8 or 9 grains of the former, brought on a salivation. Of this, however, nothing now remains but a little soreness of the mouth. I have been able to get on horseback for 3 or 4 days past. As you say yourself, I too am an Epicurean. I consider the genuine, not the imputed doctrines of Epicurus as containing everything rational and moral philosophy which Greece and Rome have left us. Epictetus, indeed, has given us what was good of the Stoics, all beyond of their dogmas, being hypocrisy and grimace. Their great crime was in their calumnies of Epicurus, and misrepresentations of his doctrines, in which we lament to see the candid character of Cicero engaging as an accomplice. The merit of his philosophy is in the beauties of his style, diffuse, vapid, rhetorical, but enchanting. His prototype, Plato, eloquent as himself, dealing out mysticisms incomprehensible to the human mind, has been defied by certain sects usurping the name of Christians, because in his foggy conceptions they found a basis of impenetrable darkness whereon to rear fabrications as delirious of their own invention. They fathered blasphemously on him who they claimed as their founder, but who would disclaim them with the indignation which their caricatures of his religion so justly excite. Of Socrates, we have nothing genuine but a memorabilia of Xenophon, for Plato makes him one of his collocutors, merely to cover his own whimsies under the mantle of his name, a liberty of which we are told Socrates himself complained. Seneca is indeed a fine moralist, disfiguring his work at times with some stoicisms, and affecting too much of the atheist's endpoint, yet giving us on the whole a great deal of sound and practical morality. Oh my goodness. Hey everybody, I am well, but in a hurry. I hope y'all are doing good too. Remember to subscribe, give me a thumbs up if you like what I'm doing, subscribe if you want to see me again. I love all y'all. Okay, but the greatest of all the reformers of the depraved religion of his own country was Jesus of Nazareth, abstracting what is really his from the rubbish in which it is buried, easily distinguished by its luster from the dross of his biographers, and as separable from that as the diamond from the dunghill. We have the outlines of a system of the most sublime morality which has ever fallen from the lips of man, outlines which it is lamentable he did not live to fill up. Epictetus and Epicurus give us laws for governing ourselves. Jesus, a supplement of the duties and charities we owe to others. The establishment of the innocent and genuine character of the benevolent moralist, and the rescuing it from the imputations of imposture which have resulted from artificial systems invented by ultra-Christian sects, unauthorized by a single word ever uttered by him, is a most desirable object, and one of which Priestley has successfully devoted his labors and learning. It would in time, it is to be hoped, effect a quiet euthanasia of the heresies of bigotry and fanatism which have so long triumphed over human reasoning and so generally and deeply afflicted mankind. But this work is to be begun by winnowing the grain from the chaff of the historians of his life. I have sometimes thought of translating Epictetus, for he has never been tolerably translated into English, of adding the genuine doctrines of Epicurus from the syntagma of Gassendi, and an abstract from the evangelists of whatever has the stamp of the eloquence and fine imagination of Jesus. The last I attempted too hastily some 12 or 15 years ago. It was the work of 2 or 3 nights only at Washington. After getting through the evening tasks of reading the letters and papers of the day, but with one foot in the grave, these are now idle projects for me. My business is to beguile the worrisomeness of declining life, as I endeavor to do, by the delights of classical reading and mathematical truths, and by the consolations of the sound of philosophy, equally indifferent to hope and fear. I take the liberty of observing that you are not a true disciple of our master Epicurus in indulging in the indolence to which you say you are yielding. One of his canons, was that indulgence which prevents a greater pleasure or procures a greater pain is to be avoided. Your love of repose will lead, in its progress, to a suspension of healthy exercise, a relaxation of mind, and indifference to everything around you, and finally, to a debility of the body and hebetude of the mind. The farthest of all things from the happiness which the well-regulated indulgences of Epicurus ensure. Fortitude, is one of the 4 cardinal virtues that teaches us to meet and surmount difficulties, not to fly from them like cowards, and to fly too in vain, for they will meet and arrest us at every turn of our road. Weigh this matter well, brace yourself up, take a seat with Correa, and come and see the finest portion of our country, which, if you have not forgotten, you still do not know, because it is no longer the same as when you knew it. It will add much to the happiness of my recovery to be able to receive Correa and yourself, and to prove the estimation in which I hold you both. Come to and see our incipient university, which has advanced with great activity this year. By the end of the next, we shall have elegant accommodations for 7 professors, and the year following, the professors themselves. No secondary character will be received among them, either the ablest which America and Europe can furnish, or none at all. They will give us the selected society of a great city, separated from the dissipations and levities of its ephemeral effects. I am glad the bust of Condorcet has been saved and so well placed. His genius should be before us, while the lamentable but singular act of ingratitude which tarnishes his later days may be thrown behind us. I will place under this a syllabus of the doctrines of Epicurus, somewhat in the lapidary style which I wrote some 20 years ago. A like one of the philosophy of Jesus, of nearly the same age, if too long to be copied. Vale et tibi persuade carissimum et esse mii. And I'm not going to read the syllabus. I realize that this is the second time I read this letter, but you guys, I have 3 minutes left before I need to go to work. So I made it. Let's call it a success. Next time I'll read the next part of the book. We're almost done with it. Thank you for reading with me. Please subscribe if you're not subscribed, and if you want to see me again, give me a thumbs up. Show me your support. I appreciate it deeply. Stay safe. I love you.